Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. A 13-year-old schoolboy in Guyana died within hours of taking his second dose of the Pfizer vaccine. This story takes the lead in today's edition of Caribbean Perspective for Monday, 11th October 2021. Details when we return.
Hubbard's big promotion is back. Live free for 1 year. Spend $50 or more in any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big prizes every month. Property or vehicle insurance for 1 year. Free internet, cable and data for 1 year. Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Free electricity for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Extra cash account and the big free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2021. Live free for 1 year with Hubbard's in association with Solgas, Flow, Grenadian General Insurance, Carib Brewery, Coca-Cola, Grenada Bottling Company, Grenlec, Communal Cooperative Credit Union, Dutch Lady Milk, Promo, Danny and Supreme. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. Guyana's health authorities say an autopsy on a teenaged schoolboy who died within hours of receiving his second dose of the Pfizer vaccine found that he died because of a bleeding in his brain. More in this Newsroom Guyana report.
A massive brain bleed and heart disease have been listed as the cause of death for the 13-year-old who collapsed and died shortly after he was administered a second dose of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine on Monday. The postmortem was conducted by government pathologist Dr. Nihal Singh, who found that the teen suffered massive bleeding in his brain before he collapsed and died 2 hours after he took the vaccine. The young boy Joshua Henry complained to his parents about feeling unwell moments before he collapsed and died at home after returning from the vaccination site. The parents also reported seeing a dark color on his skin close to his joints. The Ministry of Health has launched a full investigation into the boy's death. Samples have been taken from his organs for additional scrutiny abroad. The Ministry of Health is continuing its investigation tonight. A team was dispatched to the Region 1 community of Maruka yesterday to begin the probe into the young child's death.
Mandatory vaccination debate continues in Jamaica. What's working and what's not? Shamila Pullin of TVJ News reports.
It's shaping up to be a long way to herd immunity in Jamaica. The Minister of Health was hoping to get at least 65% of the population vaccinated by March 2022. But with just 10% of the population vaccinated, public health experts say the ministry needs to change its approach. Public health specialist Dr. Orville Nemard believes that from the onset, the vaccine program got off to a rocky start and has yet to recover.
There was the issue of availability of vaccines first off. Then when you got vaccines, there was a challenge of access. So we had people waiting in lines for long hours trying to get vaccines. People were told to come for vaccines and they were told they couldn't get. People receive vaccines and then they can't get second doses. So I think there are a lot of issues around vaccines which have turned people off.
There is also concern that a significant number of healthcare workers are not vaccinated, which the experts say sends the wrong message. The issue of vaccination has been likened to a war between anti-vaxxers versus science, and it appears persons do not believe in the drug are winning.
The anti-vaxxers are winning because their messaging is more focused and more realistic. The anti-vaxxers are winning because the government has not put any system in place to combat them.
So the vaccines are new. Some of the delivery methods are new. With the information age, quite a bit of the information surrounding vaccines, which was not known before, have been raised. And then there's just real and truly plain ignorance.
Several doses of the COVID vaccine went to waste at the end of September. And from the looks of things, several will have to be discarded as the October 30 expiration date draws closer.
We should never have to do any more COVID-19 vaccines. If we mix and match the AstraZeneca with the Pfizer, or we invite persons to come in to get vaccination early, we will be able to use up all the vaccines.
But in an interview with TVJ News recently, Director of Family Health Services in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Melody Ennis, said mixing brands was not being contemplated at this time. Several ideas have been mooted on ways to increase vaccine take-up. On Wednesday, private sector groups said the time had come for the government to implement a vaccine mandate. Dr. Nemart, however, argues that while businesses can devise their own strategies, a national vaccine mandate isn't wise at this time.
I think in the absence of some elements of knowledge, and for persons not being fully aware of all of what the vaccines entail, attempting to make it mandatory now is likely to create a backlash, which I don't think is necessary.
At this point in time, with the level of vaccine hesitancy being almost 70%, it is critical that the government consider mandatory vaccination, especially for frontline workers who are at the highest risk of exposure.
Shamela Pulan, TVJ News.
And Jamaica's vaccine program is officially recognized by the United Kingdom. Confirmation came on Thursday from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. The change means fully vaccinated Jamaicans will no longer have to quarantine or pay for multiple COVID-19 tests when they arrive in the UK.
The Antigua and Barbuda government is taking steps to fully reopen its economy. ABS News has more in this report.
We want to be in a position to have the country fully open for commerce without regard to these restrictive measures that we have had to put in place these last 20 months. And so within 90 days, we believe that we will be in a position to have the economy fully opened.
Cabinet says this target is based on the continued rise in the number of people getting vaccinated. In the meantime, the curfew hours will be relaxed commencing October 15, while other restrictions have also been eased.
From the 15th of October, from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. daily, the new curfew conditions will apply. Effective immediately, churches are permitted to host regular worship services based on the previously approved capacity by the Central Board of Health.
Citizens and residents will have more time at the beach as of Friday, with Minister Nicholas adding these new protocols will likely apply during upcoming holidays.
All of the beaches are reopened between the hours of 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily, and that will include the weekends.
Some recently closed businesses will also commence operations in coming days.
Also effective on the 15th of October, casinos, cinemas, gymnasiums, restaurants, operators of commercial sea vessels or seacraft are permitted to reopen for services to the public on the condition that the operators and patrons are vaccinated.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
Medical officials in Barbados say the handling of deceased COVID-19 patients, including closed caskets and funerals, is in line with strict infection and control prevention. Details in this Barbados Today news item.
Grieving families have been publicly lamenting their inability to be involved in the handling of the bodies of family and friends or even view them during the final send-off. At a COVID-19 update held on Thursday, Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Anton Best acknowledged that it is a difficult but unavoidable process that is intended to protect all concerned.
COVID, you're still infectious. When you're dead, we want to protect the death care workers. So the standard procedures of infection prevention and control, wearing PPE, apply. What also applies to the management of a dead body is that autopsies are not done if the person has definitely died from COVID. The reason why autopsy is not done is because you may do something called aerosol generation. where you get the COVID-19 particles or virus particles in the air, and then that puts the death care workers at risk. So that's the most important thing that persons should appreciate.
Dr. Adina Grandison, who is a consultant manager of home quarantine and also a vice president of the Barbados Association of Medical Practitioners, stressed that public health measures must be observed even to the point of the burial.
The public health measures for infectious diseases is observed. So we try to ensure that even at the point of burial, that an open casket is not allowed, because then you have persons who are there in the space with their body who can potentially become infected, and we don't want that. So essentially we try to expedite those cases to get them buried as quickly and as safely as possible. But we do understand that family members do need closure, and so we try to accommodate as much as possible, but certainly not an open casket, because we cannot expose our death care workers and we do not want to expose family members.
December 6th is Election Day in Tobago. Once again, Tobagonians will be returning to the polls to elect a new assembly after the January 25th 6-6 stalemate between the PNM and the PDP. The announcement of the date of a return to the polls was made on Wednesday by THA Chief Secretary Ansel Dennis at a weekly media briefing. More from TV6's Elizabeth Williams.
Having consulted with the Prime Minister and the President as required by law, I am pleased and relieved to announce that Tobago will return to the polls for another Tobago House of Assembly election on the 6th of December 2021.
Chief Secretary Ansel Dennis says the election date has come with some sense of relief. The change from 12 seats to 15 was previously passed in Parliament, paving the way for the December 6th polls.
So I am looking forward to that. I am quite happy and relieved that we can finally go to the polls, resolve this deadlock, and carry on with the very important business of the people of Tobago.
Meantime, Progressive Democratic Patriots leader Watson Duke says it is time for the rematch between the PDP and the PNM.
We are saying to the people, let we fix this. Let we fix retrenchment. Let we fix joblessness. Let we fix underemployment. And let we fix homelessness. Let me fix bread and butter issues. And I think Tobagonians are more sharp, are more ready, and are more determined this time to tip the scales in favor of the PDP. We are ready. We are going forward with our Chief Secretary candidate as Farley Chavez Augustine, a young man in whom I repose much confidence, a young man whom I admire, a man whom the entire team of candidates that will be going forward on behalf of the PDP would be supporting.
PDP Deputy Political Leader Farley Augustine, who will be leading the charge for the party and is the Chief Secretary Designate for the upcoming elections, told TV6 it is time for Tobago to see the backs of the PNM.
Like all of Tobago, I'm feeling hopeful. Hopeful that we will finally resolve the 6-6 debacle. Hopeful that Tobago will actually see real change. Hopeful that we will finally get to begin the transformation of Tobago, and hopeful that we will see the backs of the PNM.
Elizabeth Williams, TV6 News.
Did you know that your friends and family can now shop at the Food Fair from anywhere in the world, and you can receive here in Grenada? The Food Fair and GrenadaMarket.com now make it possible through secure online shopping and personalized customer service. Simply send your loved ones a list of your preferred items or let them fill an online basket, and the items will be available for pickup or delivery. Visit GrenadaMarket.com or thefoodfair.gd today for more details. The new norm. Spread the news.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.